So we're going to talk about windows and specifically a stool trim. Now this won't be used on every job, but we do get a lot of questions on how to install it. There's a lot of issues around how to cut these notches and how to get the right projections. So hopefully we can provide you with some simple techniques to get that. Now the casing we're going to be using is just a small conventional casing. If you were going to be using something larger like an RB3 casing, whatever casing you're going to use, that's what you need to create your measurements from. So the first measurement we need, because this is an oversized profile, and it's also reversible, meaning one side has a square edge, which would be used for like a Craftsman style trim. The other one has an OG that's going to be used for a trim that has more of a contoured profile. So knowing that we're going to be using this as an apron, and from a terminology perspective, an apron is just the trim that rests underneath the stool or provides support for the stool. We'll first pull a measurement of the depth of the window and the apron. We determine it's about 3.5 inches. So depending on which side of the profile we're going to use, which we're going to be using the OG, we want to go that 3.5 inches, right at the edge of our detail, if you will, and we'll slide back about 1/4 of an inch. So we need a part that's about 4.25 inches. So the first step would be to rip all your material 4.25 inches from the detailed edge, or the edge that you're going to be using. So we did that here to give us the ability to go ahead and establish the length. So the next thing we need to know is the length between the windows. So again, we'll go back to the trim that we're going to be using as our apron, and we're going to hold it up to the jamb and create the reveal that you choose, whether it be a positive reveal, where we have about a 3/8 inch reveal of the jamb or jamb liner. And if you don't like the edge of the jamb liner, if you use some product that doesn't have a finished edge, you can do a negative or reverse reveal where we rest about 1/8 of an inch over. So we're going to do that and just put ourselves a tick mark, which we've already got it there. And that'll determine where our trim will end. Now, as a rule of thumb, you want the stool to project past where the trim ends the same distance that it sticks out beyond. And so we've determined that to be about 1 inch. So from where the jamb is, or from where the casing is, we put a mark 1 inch out. And so we know that that's going to be 3 inches beyond the opening. So now we need to cut the length of the part. So all we need to do is measure inside the window, say it's 50 inches, and then we'll add 3 inches, 3 inches, so we need a 56-inch piece. So with that 56-inch piece cut, then we need to cut the notch in it. And so we'll lay the part up into the window, and we'll just put a tick mark where the wall is, and then we'll bring the whole product out to where our 1 inch beyond our casing mark is. Put us a tick mark, and then use a square to join the two. So with that cut out, we're able to slide it into place, and we could then put our casing on. And as you can see, our reveal is similar. So we got about 3/4 of an inch here. We got about 3/4 of an inch here. And then obviously we would go ahead and secure this. We would put the trim on after the fact. And then we would come back with our apron. And so our apron, we want it to be directly in line with our casing. So we can just visually align, put us a mark there. And then obviously do the same thing on the other side, pull a measurement. And in this particular case, we ended up doing a miter return on our apron, which, as you can see, when you slide it over, get it in line with your casing, it just creates a nice finished edge here. And real quickly on the miter returns, a lot of people don't really understand what they are. All we're doing is taking a piece of the trim. And obviously we cut the 45 on this side. And on a scrap piece, we cut a mating 45. And then I've drew a line here where we would cut a straight cut, and all we're doing is producing a piece that looks like this. And that piece then in turn is attached here, and so it's just a way of finishing off the edge and making a clean return into the wall. It helps a lot too if you're working with a pre-finished, so if it's painted and you've got that raw white edge, it doesn't look good, but I think that provides a cleaner look.